Hi, I'm Johnny from UltimatePaperMache.com, and today I'm going to do an experiment I should have done a really long time ago. We had a guest post 4 or 5 years ago from Pia who showed us how to paint glass eyes, painting right on the back of these glass cabochons. They look like this. And the reason that I have one to show you is because I bought these, a whole bag of them. Here's my bag, as a matter of fact. I bought them right after I read her post because it just looked so cool. I would think that it would just be so wonderful to put glass eyes in animal sculptures. And I have never tried it because you kind of had to paint them upside down on the glass. For some reason, it kind of scared me and I just never tried it. But then I started wondering, do we really have to paint the eye on the back of the glass? Would it be possible to just paint it on paper and then glue it to the glass? I was working on my bongo. You see, I moved him out here just so that you can see him. I made this guy 10 years ago. So these two ideas from a really long time ago. He used to be in a lot of my older videos, and a lot of people have asked me to make a pattern for him. And I do have the pattern. That right there. Of course, since I had bongo antelope on the brain, I thought it would be kind of fun. If we're going to do an experiment on making taxidermy eyes, then why not go ahead and make bongo eyes? But it turns out that the colors in their eyes are very different from anything that I've ever mixed before. So I do happen to have somebody in the family who knows how to do it. My daughter, Jessie Rashi, is an award-winning oil painter. She really knows color, so I kind of reached out to her and asked her for some help. I found a really nice photograph. I'll put a link to it down below, and I asked her if she would be willing to help me figure out how to actually mix those colors. She actually made a video for us so we could actually follow along, not only mixing the colors, but actually knowing how to layer them on the paper, which is just fantastic. She's right in the middle of getting ready for a workshop that she's going to be putting on, gosh, I think it's next week. It's coming up really soon, and I know she puts a ton of time into getting those ready. So it was just really nice of her to take the time out to do it. I want you to check that out, by the way. Her next workshop is about simplifying landscapes. And look at the beautiful colors that she's got in this one. This is the painting that she's using on the page that she explains what the workshop's about, and it's just fantastic. So do check that out. And in the meantime, let's see if we can use her video that she made for us to paint bongo eyes on paper. And then as soon as I have the eyes, I'm going to do 3 of them. She painted 1, and I'm going to paint 3. And as soon as my 3 are dry, I'm going to see if we can glue them onto the back of this glass. Let's do it.
I'm going to be using cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre, alizarin crimson and black, and a smidge of white. The first thing I'm going to do is to draw where that pupil's going. The nice thing about acrylic paint is that if I put something where I don't want it, I can just cover it up later. No big deal. I'm just kind of tracing over my pencil line here. My circle, I traced around a cap here for the circle. Just trying to soften up this edge right here. That color of the eye is gorgeous. It's bright and it's kind of this peachy orange. So I'm going to start with some alizarin crimson, and I'm going to add in a little bit of yellow ochre and just see how that looks. I think that's pretty good. So this is acrylic paint. It will dry a little bit darker than what you see. Also, the more you whip it or add water, the more the color will shift, because that stuff makes it appear lighter while it's wet. I'm not adding much water, just enough to make it not drag. And up here in my photo there's this beautiful shadow, so I'm just basically gonna paint the top kind of the same way I see the bottom and let the sculpture create that shadow up there. Okay, and then I see a darker but kind of goldish area right around the pupil. So I'm going to add in some more yellow. And so I'm kind of overpainting this pupil. I can come right back with black and go over all of this. So this is just basically my first layer. I'm just trying to get a sense of what all the colors are and how they fit together. So I'm seeing this like gold, I don't know what to call it. It's like this jewel color. It's beautiful. I'm gonna add a teeny bit of white paint here just to lighten up my mix. There we go. So this is cad yellow, yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, and a smidge of white. Look at it, has this nice golden color. Just get some of that right in here. Add just a drop of water so it'll move a little better. And over on the ends, I'm just gonna put a little bit across it so it kind of has those lines like irises do, where you can see the little muscles in the eye. This is just a really beautiful orangey gold color. I really am partial to the color you get when you mix alizarin crimson or another magenta with yellow, and you get this kind of apricot. Beautiful. Okay, so my lines are going around and around, but this is an iris, so I'm gonna go over the top and try to get my lines to go more outwards, to sort of radiate from the pupil. I want some real red to show through, and I want that pupil to just be strong. So since I've got this sort of medium color on my brush, I'm gonna get that all the way off of there so I can grab some black and have it be a strong black. Okay. There we go. And my brush is still wet. You can see how it's extra wet right there. I just want the paint. I want this to be as strong as it can be. I'm just being careful around the edges of my shape here. I'm just kind of pushing the edge of the paint over a little bit to try to work my way out to... Yeah, okay. Cool, 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 cool. So I want just a couple more things. I want that glowing gold. So here we go. Yellow, alizarin crimson. Okay. All right. And so I'm just going to put some lines out here, just kind of radiating away from that pupil, just like eyeball muscles would do. More yellow. some of that glowing quality right up here. Frayed brushes can be really good at that. So right around here, sort of an in-between color between the pupil and the iris. Have it some alizarin crimson, some black, and some white. Okay, it's turned very purple. That's okay. And I'm just gonna get this color right in between the pupil and this gold iris. Okay. What pretty eyes they have. Oh my goodness. Huh. I think this is pretty close.
So now I have 3 eyeballs painted, and they're not exactly the same colors as the one that Jessie made for us. I actually bought this tube of alizarin crimson. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I've never used it. Kind of like those cabochons. I buy something and it looks like a really good idea, and then I never get around to trying it. So this is the first time I've ever mixed anything with it. I really like the browns and oranges that you can get with it. Jessie's right. It's a really cool color. I've just never tried it before. So mine aren't exactly the same as hers. But we now have something that we can use to see if we can stick it on to the back of those cabochons. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got 3 different things I'm going to try. The first one, I have actually tried sticking some newspaper onto the back of a cabochon with this stuff, and it worked pretty good. This is just a Scotch glue stick. I happen to have one of these glue sticks in the house that I bought for something. I have no idea why, called Prit. It's supposed to be really super good. We'll find out. And I'm also going to try some of this varnish. I've played around with 2 of these already with the newspaper, and they did seem to stick onto the glass, but whether or not it will be clear enough for us to see the painting underneath, that I don't know. So let's go ahead and get started and we'll find out. I've got them labeled so we won't forget which one is which, and let's go ahead and start off with the Scotch, since that's over there on the end. The one thing that I found out when I was playing around with the newspaper is that you don't want to put too much of the glue stick on there, and it's really easy to do. And we also kind of have to squish it on there. Now the newspaper doesn't have this much texture. This is a heavy watercolor paper, and that might not have been the right choice. We'll find out. I can almost kind of tell that the black isn't as black as it should be, but maybe it will get better, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, this one. This one says it's really strong, but it doesn't say that it'll work with glass. If you know of what glue we're supposed to be using to put paper on glass, please let us know. I'm obviously just playing around here, trying to squish it down so that the paper will be in real tight contact with the glass. Okay, the varnish. Makes the eyeball look really shiny. That's pretty. Where's my color? There it is. It's not grabbing onto the glass the way the glue stick did. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I don't know. We'll see. Let's leave them for about an hour. I'll be right back, right after it's had time to dry, and we'll see if any of them work. So we've had it an hour now, and they're dry. They're all stuck on really good. I was really surprised about that the glue stick would work at all with glass. That just doesn't seem right, but it does actually work really well. And they look really nice from a slight distance. If you get too close, yeah. We need to try at least one more thing before we really know how to do this right. But I think we're really onto something, because it just looks really cool. Let me give them up really close if I can. It's going to be difficult for you to see, I think, because of all the light that's going to be bouncing off. The one over to your right, the one that says varnish, it definitely turned out best. The reason, I think, is that maybe I just put too much the glue stick on there. You can see that I kind of worked it pretty good, because I wanted, maybe because I just didn't think it was going to work. But it made the black part of the pupil slightly gray, and it's spotty. The iris, let me bring it up here. I put the one on top now with the varnish. It has the brightest colors, but there's just a little bit of almost like cracking, it looks like, right over the black portion of the iris. I don't know if you can see it or not. Hopefully you can. Now, there's two reasons maybe why the glue stick didn't work. It sticks down really good, and it does get clear. But this is really heavily textured, thick watercolor paper, and the fact that it wasn't slick may have had an effect. If we did the painting over again on real slick paper, I don't happen to have any, but I'll get some and we'll try that too, and that might make a big difference. And just using less glue stick might have worked too, or just simply using it right around the edge instead of in the middle. That might help too. There might be another thing to kind of experiment with. The varnish, I think, worked really well, except for those little tiny cracks. And again, that might be caused by the fact that the paper is textured. I don't know. I didn't put a whole lot of detail into the eyes when I was painting them, but I can tell that some of it got lost, but all the color is still there, and it is kind of interesting the way it's working. It looks pretty realistic, actually. Because it changes color when you move them around, how much light is coming in on which direction. It's really close. If we can figure this out, it would make some really cool taxidermy eyes. And real taxidermy eyes are really expensive. These cabochons are not. So I've actually ordered some smaller ones. They should be here on Monday, so we can play around with it some more. Now, in the meantime, please let us know if you have any ideas at all, if you've practiced this, if you've played around with it at all. I'm just kind of looking around here to see if I have anything else that we might be able to use for glue, but I don't think so. I think I used everything that in my house that was even feasible. But if you know of anything, please let us know in the comments down below. If you've ever tried anything like this, please let us know, because I think this would be just really fantastic if we could get it to work. If you have any interest at all in painting landscapes in oil, make sure that you do check out Jessie's workshop. If you would like to see how these eyes are supposed to be done by painting actually on the glass, make sure that you do read Pia's blog post. And then if you have any interest at all in making a bongo antelope of your own using my pattern as soon as it's done, be sure to watch for that. And in the meantime, go make something and come visit me, ultimatepapermache.com. I'll see you there.